Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I will be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Okay, so again, I wasn't going to record today. Um, but here we are. Um, so yeah, I'm actually, I don't know, I'm being called to say this, but me and my daughter have decided that we're doing a movie night tonight where she can eat a bunch of gummy stuff and hard crunchy stuff because she's getting braces next week, which she's very excited about. Haha. Anyways, so I'm gonna jump on here and see what wants to come through. So I already know this is gonna be a counterpart message. Um, I was actually guided to write down a few notes that kind of talk about these dynamics. So when we're talking high level counterparts, divine masculine, divine feminine counterparts, um, you can also think of it as twin flame, if you resonate with that label. Um, so basically what it is it's complementary traits that you're going to find with this other person. Um, if we are going with the twin flame ideology, that is talking about an identical core soul frequency, but that's at the soul level. So the human self is going to be different. You know, our human self is based on our life experiences and our upbringing and, so on and so forth. So oftentimes with the human selves, there's going to be complementary traits. There's going to be some things that are really, really similar. Maybe core wounding that you experienced in childhood. Maybe you both have an abandonment wound. Maybe you both are struggling with worthiness stuff. Those kinds of things will be similar a lot of the time. And then sometimes how that shows up will be opposite. And it just depends. Again, this is a very complex thing. So it's just going to depend. So just take whatever resonates. Now, when we're talking actual twin flames, the thing that makes a twin flame different than a high level soulmate is a twin flame, because of that identical core soul frequency, it will be one of the most triggering relationship dynamics, especially if you're both unconscious, because the purpose of it is to bring you back to your core self, that soul frequency self, and really get into alignment with that part of the self. So that's why oftentimes twin flames will come together. It'll be, romantic and passionate about like beyond anything you've ever experienced. And then the triggering will happen and it will be so intense that oftentimes that triggers a separation phase. And then that's where you're going to be walking parallel and going through growth and spiritual awakening and so on and so forth. And then when the time is right, when the energy is right, when you both have decided at a more conscience level that you do want union of some sort, that's when that magnetization really starts to happen and it starts to pull you back together with this person. So that's kind of the dynamic with a twin flame. A high level soulmate, there is still going to be that soul recognition. It's just going to come more with a level of ease and understanding. It's not going to have that heavy, heavy triggering effect. You can still find a catalyst soulmate that will catalyze a spiritual awakening, but it's just a slightly different dynamic than like a true twin flame dynamic. Um, and then the physical soul contracts between soulmates or twin flames are going to vary. And so that's why some twin flames do come back together and have a full-blown romantic union. And sometimes they'll come back together and work together or be, really good friends or something like that. So it's just going to vary. And then sometimes it'll be, you come back together, you kind of reconcile and, come to terms with everything, clear the water. What? Clear the water. I was thinking water under the bridge and then clearing the air. So we'll say clear the water. But to clear that, anything that needs to be cleared up in the physical, and then, you just choose to go your separate ways and, call it good. So it just varies for each of us because of, physical soul contracts, human free will, so on and so forth. Okay, the divine feminine operates primarily from the higher three chakras. So the throat, the third eye, and the crown. This is where a lot of the notion comes from that like women talk a lot, that kind of thing. The feminine, and again, feminine and masculine, when I'm talking about this, it's not a gender thing. I just want to say that we all have divine masculine and divine feminine energy within us. And then we tend to experience one of the polarities more frequently, or it's more of like a soul thing. It's more the soul says, yes, I'm going to be more in my divine feminine energy, so I'm going to resonate more with that polarity, and then the masculine will resonate with the masculine polarity, but we each have both within us. So, especially unconsciously, before spiritual awakening, the feminine oftentimes operates mostly from those top three chakras. The masculine operates from the lower three chakras. So, the root or the base, the sacral, and the solar plexus. And um, we all have access to all of the chakras, just to be clear. It's just that's normally where you're operating from. Then when you go through an awakening and you activate everything and so on and so forth, um the feminine will still dominantly operate from those higher three chakras, and the masculine will dominantly operate from the lower three chakras. And so this is where that complementary dynamic comes into play. So the feminine will be pulling in a lot of intuitive and energy, be able to speak it in a certain way, access some of that divine energy just more frequently, more naturally, we could say. And then the masculine will be able to actually anchor that energy into the physical almost easier or more naturally. We'll say more naturally than the feminine. Okay. Um, oh yeah. Oh, and then there's okay, so part of the reason this message wants to come out right now is because there is this union window timeline that is open. I've been talking about this in the past few divine counterpart messages that I've done. Um, drop my seat a little bit. Oh, that was a little much. Anyways, technical difficulty. We've got yin yang on the bottom of the deck. That's really funny. That's divine counterpart energy. Okay. Um, So I feel like part of the reason that these messages have been coming through so clearly and so frequently right now and so kind of incessantly, like I'm getting hit with these messages just incessantly. If you haven't noticed, it's been daily for a while now. Um, there is something where the energetics of it are at a point where you and your counterpart do have this union window available. And the reason it's being so pushed right now is because one, there's soul contracts in play and everything else. And there's a conscious desire on both ends to come back together at this time. Then, give me just a second. I got to readjust my chair. Back in business. Okay, so there is something that is going to happen when you two come back together physically and start communicating. And it's an energy thing. And so, what I feel like is going to happen for both of you is that complementary energy where being in contact is going to help the feminine to anchor some of this energy in. And then it's going to help activate some of those higher chakras for the masculine and assist to bring more divine energy through, and then it's going to be able to be brought through in a very grounded way for both of you. So I feel like that's a huge reason why these are coming through so heavily right now, is because there's an energy thing that's going to happen for both of you that is really, really going to be beneficial for you in this next phase, whether you actually choose union or not, like a romantic union or something like that. It's just there's an energy thing that will happen when you come back together that's going to assist both of you in this next phase of life. And so some of you, it's just going to look different for all of you. I already kind of went through like the different possibilities. Um, but what I was kind of seeing is that at first, for a lot of you, you may be coming back together platonically as like friends or something like that. Maybe even coming back together platonically to work together or something. It's something that both of your souls want, and your human selves are in agreement as well. Your human selves want this as well. So I feel like that's why these messages are coming through so heavily right now and being pushed so hard. Um, the next card that I just saw was Cornucopia, and this is Dream Timeline. And so I feel like this is a huge part of why you two are being called to come back together right now, is to help you to really anchor in this dream timeline. Whether or not that includes this person as your romantic partner or not is going to vary. For a lot of you, I am feeling that that is definitely on the table, but that's not mandatory. It's not mandatory that you come back together and attempt a full-blown romantic union, especially right away. Um, what else wants to come through? We've got the second chakra. So this is the sacral. Um, the color's orange. It sits between the belly button and the base of the spine. It governs the reproductive system. It also is associated with pleasure, sensuality, and creativity. And I feel like a huge part of why you are coming together, especially right now, is there's something with your creativity that is going to be a dominant part of this dream timeline. And so that's part of this as well, is and I've been picking this up too, that there's something that wants to be birthed by the two of you energetically. For some of you, maybe that's a literal child. For others of you, it's going to be a creative project of some sort. And for some of you, I'm hearing it's like all of the above. It's going to be like the romantic union plus maybe, a literal child or two or three. um, if that's something you desire and is, available to you. Um, and then for others of you, well, it's going to be that plus like a business or a creative project or something like that. For others of you, maybe it's just the creative project. And then for some of you, it actually could be just you two coming into contact, clearing the air. That's going to allow you to access this creativity in a deeper, more profound way. And then we've got all tied up. Okay. What I'm getting is that another part of you two coming together and communicating, it's going to help you both to release some attachments to things that are still kind of holding you back or holding you down or having you play small or something like that. So it's energetically going to help shift your reality very rapidly. And that's another huge part of these connections, is its rapid growth. We've got woman holding a heart. So the feminine in this dynamic is on board um for a romantic union. That's what I'm getting from this card. So if that is something that you are desiring, um, that is here. If you're the masculine, the feminine is on board for that. If you are the feminine, I feel like that's just confirmation for you. And then we've got the temple path, which is the soul led path. This is the path back to self, back to alignment, remembrance, those sorts of things. It's really indicative of the spiritual journey. And a huge reason that counterparts choose to come in and have this experience is to have rapid growth. And it's going to be in all forms. It's going to be spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. Um, we, I'm going to do different videos on this, but there's actually awakenings that happen in each of those areas and aspects of our life. So this is something that can help assist that and really speed that process up. Something that might take, 10 years can take 6 months. Just because of the intensity of this energetic connection. Um, it's on reverse. Okay, we've got the seventh chakra in reverse. Is this okay? So originally I thought this was a counterpart reading, and then I just kind of got told that this is more actually for a masculine, which I'll make clear in the title. But what I'm picking up is that so the crown chakra in reverse is a blocked crown. And what I feel like you're being called to do is one, unblock your crown. Um, make sure you're grounded. Um, just personal experience. Blasting open the crown and not being grounded can cause a thing called being blissed out. And it's really fun, but it's not practical. um anyways, that's a whole other video. There's ways you can open your crown. So you can use different crystals. Any white or clear crystals will activate your crown, as well as violet crystals. You can also do visualizations, um, things of that nature. What I feel like is really coming through right now, though, is this is something your feminine can help activate within you. So if you are desiring to fully access your divine energy, a very fast way to do this is to come back into contact with your feminine, and your feminine will be able to assist you with this. Maybe it'll just be an energy thing. And then for some of you, maybe, your feminine will actually guide you and like, teach you different things. Or sometimes when you're talking these counterparts, a hug can actually activate it. Or like if the feminine even were to just like rub their hand up and down your back a few times, even in a non like sensual way, that can activate it. So, and then obviously, if you do come back together and you have physical encounters, that's going to activate both of you very intensely. Um, so yeah, okay. Hmm. Anything else? Okay, and then I'm being told too, for some of you, because these connections are so intense, and a really dominant thread that I'm picking up on is a very ancient soul. And so you've done this a time or two in other lifetimes and other experiences. For some of you, it might even be something like talking on the phone or just like because there's energy that we carry through our throat chakra, and so that's also where you get that soul resonance, especially divine counterparts. Sometimes it can be hearing their voice that can completely activate you. And so that might be part of why you're being guided so heavily right now to communicate, is to help you fully activate basically. And then there's also, because these are very reciprocal dynamics, so it's not just going to be one-sided where your feminine helps you and then you don't do anything for your feminine. You are going to bring a grounding energy to your feminine that's going to help your feminine really anchor in some of this energy into the physical realm, which I feel like your feminine could I'm hearing your feminine could really use this right now. Um So, what I'm picking up in this connection is the feminine is very much walking in both worlds. And sometimes, and I totally know how this is. Sometimes it can be difficult to pull out of the other realms for a little bit and bring stuff into the physical human 3D realm. So, there is definitely a mutual dynamic energetically that is going to help both of you in this next phase of life. And then we've got strategy. So is this saying to come up with a strategy? Okay. What I'm picking up from this card is to okay, so I'm picking up a perfectionism energy. It's the energy of like everything needs to be this way and it needs to happen this way and it needs to look this way and until I'm here and I'm fully at this point I can't reach out or something like that. It's kind of that perfectionism type of an energy of needing to have a plan and a whole thing so that um it's really it's to provide comfort to your ego is really where that comes from. And I feel like you're being guided to go more into the surrender aspect of it and allow yourself to just reach out and see where it goes. Um, okay, I just heard for some of you, you're being distracted by the strategy energy. And so by sitting there and thinking and putting all this thought energy into it, it's actually preventing you from, one reaching out, but two further growth. Okay. So it was in reverse. I'm being called to read it. Okay, okay. Um, okay, so it says you may have a goal in mind, but no specific ideas of how to achieve it, or you may have found that your original plans hit a wall and now it's time to reevaluate things. The path Okay. It says the path, this is, I don't really agree with this wording, but it says the path of least resistance may be tempting, but it rarely leads anywhere new. I'm going to reword that because the path of least resistance is the path the universe takes always to bring you your manifestations. What I would reword this as is the path of comfort or perfectionism or control, like being able to control the entire situation. That's where it rarely leads to anything new. And it keeps you kind of locked in that box because you're not open to the magic of the universe. Anything else? Okay. Okay. The card. All right. So we've got the envy card, and I feel like this is really indicating people around you that have envy for you. And again, a lot of times it's not conscious, and I just want to say that. A lot of times this envy isn't conscious. It's subconscious, and it's coming through in, you know, kind of subtle ways. Maybe it's a really dirty look here and there, or it's, just a lot of like, um, when somebody around you sees that you're growing in a way and they haven't done that work, they'll come off judgmental or look at you like you're crazy or oh you're just doing this because you think you're better than everybody. It's shit like that that comes up and it's a subconscious projection because they haven't actually gone within and done this work. And so just keep that in mind if you are experiencing this. It's really an example. It's showing you what type of content to take to certain people and where to hold back a little bit and not be as open or talk about certain things. Okay, and then I just saw there may be a feminine around you. This could be like a romantic person, maybe you're in a relationship with somebody, or maybe this is an ex, or this could be like a mother or a sister or somebody like that, even a feminine friend. And again, it's not a gender thing, but I'm seeing a feminine who, for a lot of you, it might be a romantic energy that is sending you some evil eye energy or some yuck energy because they can sense your feminine in your energy. Okay. And what I'm hearing is to take action regardless of this envy energy. Take action towards your feminine and things are going to become more clear. But I do really feel like the guidance is to take action and communicate. Um, and just to kind of see where it happens, and also to allow yourself to have those energetic activations so that you can really step into this dream timeline. You're really, really close to it. And there's just a little bit of like activation that you need basically to fully lock this in. And there's something with you communicating with your feminine that can really assist this and allow you to like fully embody that, dream timeline and really get into alignment with it. Okay. We're still going. What Okay, we've got door to personal healing and happiness, and I heard this is the doorway for you to personal healing and happiness, which is what we've kind of been talking about. You walking through this door is going to allow you to really anchor in this more abundant, peaceful, happy energy and really get into alignment with, your dreams basically. Whatever that is for you. Um, but there is an element of having the ability to live your dreams in the physical on a daily basis and really experience that. And I'm being shown and told that this is something that you knew was possible for you when you were younger and then you lost faith in it, and it's coming back to you now because you are actually closer than you realize to being able to fully shift into your dream timeline. And there's something energetically that will happen when you communicate with your feminine that's going to really help unlock those last few things to fully shift into it. And I feel like you're going to do the same thing for your feminine as well. It's a deep energy exchange, even if you're not like physically intimate with this person, although that'll do it too. And then we've got the root chakra, and yeah, this is definitely, being able to bring in this stuff into the physical realm. Whatever it is, no matter how big your dreams may be, no matter how far away they may feel, they're a lot closer than you realize. And energetically, you're pretty much ready to shift fully into this timeline. It's just requiring you to take action towards it. And there is definitely something for a lot of you. I do feel like you and your feminine are going to be in contact with each other, even if it's platonically, probably for a while, like long term is what I'm hearing. And then for others of you, obviously, if this is a full blown romantic union, this is like this is most likely energetically going to be able to be worked through to a point where you stay together for the rest of this life if that's what you choose. I do feel like there's definitely a thread of energy here where both you and your feminine do want that. And so again, it's just going to vary. We're all on different paths, we're all on different journeys, and so on and so forth. So it's just going to vary. But there is definitely that available for you if that is something you're desiring. If you're truly desiring that with your feminine, it's being mirrored back to you. It is like you're mirroring that to each other. And so if you're really desiring that, so is your feminine. If you're really desiring to come together with your feminine to work together, they're desiring that as well. um or just to be friends, or whatever. It's mutual. As far as the depth and the level of connection that you desire, your person is desiring the same level of depth and intensity with you. Oh, wow. Oh, keep going. The thinking woman. Okay. And then what I just heard is you want to pick your feminine's brain. So maybe your feminine, maybe you have a way to, because I'm picking up no contact for most of you. So maybe your feminine posts on social media a lot, or maybe they, are a content creator, or they're in the public eye in some way and you can see them. Or maybe it's just like you've got mutual friends or something like that. There's something where it's like you're observing your feminine and it's so enticing. You want to just sit there and just have like hours long conversations to understand their perspective. It's like you want to intellectually just get lost in that space with your feminine. And I will say, if that is something you're desiring, I am like kind of seeing that that is mirrored. Your feminine would love to sit there and have these deep, deep conversations. So, what I'm feeling in this energy is, even if your feminine has an outlet where they're sharing some of this stuff, some of this like thinking, like intellectual stuff, I feel like your feminine actually isn't able to fully go there with a lot of people in their physical life. And so to have somebody who's interested in it and actually wants to get lost in those intellectual spaces is something that your feminine is deeply desiring. So just know that. It was very specific. And then we've got rest and rejuvenation. And I feel like this is just really coming through to remind you to amp up the self care. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. So make sure you're filling your cup up first. Self care, rest, whatever that looks like for you. It's different for everybody. Just make sure that you're really spending some time checking in with yourself and asking what it is that you need, your physical body, mental, emotional, and spiritual body as well. What do all those ass- assets, interesting, I meant faucets, what do all of those faucets of yourself need to I just heard I need more assets. Okay, anyways, um which is available to you. Just saying, that's a part of this cornucopia. So if you were the one that just sent me that and you would like some more assets right now, this is you allowing yourself to communicate with your feminine is going to help you to really ground that in and really amp up the financial security as well. Anyways, um, for I heard that. Just make sure that you're really thinking about those different things that you are requiring. So, healthier foods, more water, etc., exercise, things like that, yoga, meditation, journaling, creativity. I'm seeing like creative expression, and then, etc. So, yeah, just make sure you're really paying attention to what you are requiring right now. Energetically and physically. Holy moly. Okay. Are we gonna do that today? Okay. No, I should maybe. Oh, that one I think will come out. There. It'll come out again if it needs to. We've got broken heart, and what I heard was there's significant heart healing that is also going to take place if you allow yourself to take action towards your feminine. Um, is this something they're being asked to do before reaching out? Oh, I just heard no. No. Okay. So, yeah, there's something that's going to be very, very healing to your heart, reaching out to your person as well. Anything else on that? Nope. Okay. Then we've got the heart chakra. Yeah, these connections are extremely activating in the heart space. Interesting. So we had okay. We have indecision coming out sideways and it's landing on the heart space. So, for some of you, if you've been watching my other videos, maybe you've been really working on sitting with your heart space and allowing yourself to tap into that energy and see what your heart is guiding you to do. And what I'm hearing is for some of you, you may be in this indecision energy because there's a part of you that still has a little bit of pain going on in the heart space. And so it's not completely clear on if you should go towards your feminine or not because there is still some heart wounding that is still kind of affecting your clarity is what I just heard. So if that's the case, I mean it's really, I always say go back, listen to your intuition, check in with your guidance, make sure you're not listening to those fear and anxious thoughts and mistaking that as intuition. When you're tapping into your heart space, if there's a part of you that's like, yes, I want to reach out, and then there's the other part of you that's like, oh, but okay, I'm just okay. Okay. There's a fear of rejection that is getting in the way of truly following your heart space right now. That's what it is. Okay. So that could be where you're kind of wobbling back and forth too, because you're like, I still don't know for sure how receptive the feminine's going to be. And so it's kind of keeping you a little bit guarded. And it's okay to be a little bit guarded when you move towards your feminine, and kind of test the waters and see how it is, but just be mindful not to be like closed off. Um which I just saw like a visual of even if you are closed off in the heart space, the moment you reach out to your feminine, it's going to shift something in your heart space. Like when you're really communicating with this person. So, yeah, get ready for that. But it's going to be very healing. This is going to be a very healing experience for both of you. Coming back together and communicating. Okay. Anything else on that? Nope. We got that one. And then we've got storm warning. Is this saying that they're picking up on potential issues with the feminine? Give me just a second. So I paused it to get a drink really quick. And sometimes that will help me to kind of get the message fully on a card. What I'm picking up is that for you, you may be experiencing something in your external world right now that is kind of blowing up a little bit. And that might be part of what is keeping you from moving towards your feminine. Um, and again, listen to your intuition, take what resonates. What I'm picking up, if that is the case for you, I kind of got the visual of like you're in the middle of a hurricane. Not in the middle. You're in like the okay. So with the hurricane, you've got the eye and then you've got the rest of the hurricane. And it's like you're out here and just kind of getting whipped around by life right now. And then what I saw was you and your feminine communicating pulls you both into the eye of the storm to get centered and to get grounded and then be able to navigate whatever's going on out here, whether you actually have your feminine be a part of what's going on, like if you communicate about it or not. It's just energetically, it's like an anchor point to where you communicating with your feminine is going to help you to really find your center fully and kind of pull into that heart space, anchor in, and really ground your energy and then be able to navigate whatever is going on in your external world better. And again, I'm not being shown that you need to like communicate what's going on with your feminine right away. Um, so, again, take that as it resonates, but there is something energetically, if you choose to take action, your feminine naturally, energetically will help you to anchor in and be able to handle all this stuff blowing up right now. And for some of you, part of what could be going on is you may be experiencing a lot of like spiritual stuff and not really knowing what's going on, and your feminine may help to provide clarity on it. And so that might be part of it as well. But for others of you, what I'm picking up is there's like external stuff. I'm seeing legal stuff for some of you. Take that as it resonates. And then I just heard custody battle. Again, take it as it resonates. But if you're dealing with a very stressful thing like that, you contacting your feminine and communicating with your feminine is going to really allow you to kind of heal some of the stuff internally and pull your energy into a more centered, grounded space to where then you can navigate whatever it is you're experiencing externally in just a different way. Um, okay. Damn, we're still going. Okay. What else? Couple more, and then I'm gonna close it out. Said a couple more and five just flipped out. That is in reverse. Okay. You've got door to romance. So if you are desiring a romantic union with your person, it is here for you. And that's part of this door to personal healing and happiness as well. Um, so I feel like that's just extra confirmation to let you know that that is available and on the table. For some of you, it's not going to be, there's something in the way to where it wouldn't be possible for you two to come into a union right away, but I'm hearing a few months. So for some of you, if there is stuff kind of, I'm picking up like another person. So if your person is with somebody else, or if you're with somebody else, but you both are desiring union with each other, then it may take a few months to unentangle from that situation and then be able to actually pursue a romantic connection. So take that as it resonates. For others of you, it's going to be available right away. Um, and then we've got the thinking man, which is really awesome. So we've got the thinking woman. And I feel like there is definitely I just heard you two are an intellectual match. So you two both really like being in that intellectual space and thinking about things and pondering and trying to figure certain things out. Maybe you're both truth seekers, stuff like that. But there's definitely an intellectual map between you and your person as well. And I do feel like there's going to be very intellectually stimulating communication between you. And I'm seeing the energy where you just kind of get lost in conversation, pondering different things, or like, how do you view this, how do you view that? And it's really nice because it's not a situation where sometimes if you're really intellectual and you're really in that space, you tend to go down, and I'm speaking from experience here, you tend to go down a shit ton of rabbit holes. And so you know a lot of things. And so it can be very triggering to people when you know at least something on, almost every topic that they bring up. Because it's just one of those like, oh, you know, but in this situation, I feel like it's not going to have that dynamic. It's gonna be like, oh, you're interested in that too? Me too. Let's compare notes. Something like that. But there is a very intellectually stimulating energy when it comes to you and your counterpart, which is super fun. Okay, and then I just laid it down on storm warning. So, for those of you that are feeling called to communicate with your feminine and then share what's going on externally, whatever this storm is, this shit show, whatever this is, the struggle or difficulty that you're experiencing in life, that it may be one of these situations where you do feel guided to communicate about it to your feminine, and then you two together can intellectually um kind of bounce different ideas back and forth. And maybe your feminine knows something about this situation that you don't. and they can actually help shed light on something about it. So just take that as it resonates. And then we do have the anxiety card, and it came out on action. So I do feel like this is that energy of I want to reach out, I really want to communicate. And I'm hearing there's nothing I desire more than being in communication with you. And not like you is the masculine. There's nothing I want more than to be in communication with my feminine. But what if they don't want to talk to me? What if they're not on the same page? What if this is all in my head? It's a lot of that what if energy. And this message is coming through to let you know that it's just worries. Your feminine does want what you want as well when it comes to this connection. Very much so, is what I just heard. And then we've got the third chakra, which is the solar plexus. It sits at the belly button. It has to do with confidence, willpower, um, and it's blocked by shame, and also worthiness wounds can show up in this energy. So I feel like that's something that you may be currently processing is some of those blocks in the solar plexus. The color's yellow, so you can wear yellow, eat yellow foods, you can use yellow crystals. You can also visualize yellow light coming into your belly button and clearing anything in that energy system that's stuck or blocked. So you can just kind of visualize that, and that will help clear it. And you can also find like a Reiki healer or a shaman that can also help to clear and cleanse some of your energy systems as well. So take that as it resonates. Of course, if you are concerned with your physical health in any way, seek out medical professional assistance. I'm not offering advice. I'm just talking about it from an energy standpoint and offering different tools and techniques to handle the energy aspect. So, got a CYA. Oh, man. Okay. Just going to go through the whole deck here. We've got patience. And it landed on the door to romance. And so I feel like there's a dual message here. One, I'm picking up again on that thread of energy where there's a block in some sort to where it's going to take some time before a romantic union is actually available for you. But again, I'm hearing like a few months. So it's not that long. And then the other thing is to pull out of that urgency for this romance. If you're really desiring communicating with your person, but there's a part of you that isn't quite ready for a romantic connection yet, but that is something you're desiring with them, it's not one of these things where you have to rush in and make this grand gesture offer and, you know, have a romantic union right away. You can ease into it. And I feel like for a lot of you, there's a couple threads of energy I'm picking up where it is going to be pretty immediate, but dominantly the energy that I'm picking up on is actually a more slower moving energy when you guys come back into contact, where it's going to be more just talking and getting to know each other and communicating a lot, and then it will naturally evolve into this if that is something that you are desiring, because if it is something you're desiring, your feminine's desiring it too. Oh no, I was being sarcastic when I said the full deck, spirit. Happy family. So if that is what you are desiring, it is here for you, and your person wants this as well. And so if this is part of what is on this dream timeline for you, it's here for you. It's literally in the cards. Oh boy. I make myself laugh sometimes. Anyways, and then I just put it like right on top of this action card. And so I feel like, it's take action towards it. It's here for you. If that's what you're desiring, it's here. It's here. Your feminine's on board. I keep hearing that. Your feminine's on board. Your feminine wants the same thing. Um, some of the details and stuff might look different. You might want a kid and they might want two. You might not want kids. I mean, no, it's not that, because if you don't want kids, I feel like your feminine doesn't either. There's like a definite compatibility element where if you want more kids, your feminine wants more kids. If you don't want kids, or whatever, your feminine doesn't. For some of you, maybe you already have kids and this is combining families. And then for some of you, this is just coming into a union and introducing each other to family and stuff like that. So take it as it resonates, but there is definitely this it's like this agreement that you not agreement, kind of. It's more just, it's like your humans are on the same page now. And I feel like that might have been a big block in the past that was preventing you from coming back together with your feminine. And now you both are on the same page. You both are desiring this with each other. So whatever that looks like for you, you both are desiring that. If you want to work with your feminine and have a family and, you know, do all the things with your person, they want that too. If you just want to work with your feminine wants to work with you too. It's that type of an energy. And I'm being told, if you want like actual marriage, your person wants that too. If you don't, because you're against marriage or whatever, then your person's on the same page when it comes to these big things. And then we've got the angel of balance. And I'm being told to read that one. Ook, Hado. Being centered and self-honoring in your choices. A strong destiny relies on a solid foundation of personal balance and emotional equanimity. Things may have been out of sync in the past. This is telling you that a greater equilibrium is now coming to your life. Remain conscious about how you are balancing your goals and your physical and emotional energy. Whenever you feel yourself getting off center or losing focus, call upon this beautiful angel and bring the intention into your heart center. Your intuition will lead you in the right direction, and the angel will guide you to a peaceful and centered approach. And what's very interesting is I'm looking at how these cards laid out here. And we've got the heart chakra, the broken heart, indecision, solar plexus. There may be some solar plexus stuff going on that's also influencing this decision energy. So if you do have a worthiness wound, or there's a part of you that's feeling like this person is, um I just heard too good for me or something like that. If that's how you're feeling, just understand that's a wound. Mm, that's not the actual dynamics of it. You two really do balance each other out in very, very beautiful, harmonious ways. And we've got the Angel of Balance card. Um, and so I feel like what this is really talking about is doing your best to pull your energy into center. Oh, okay. Pull your energy into center as much as possible. And just know that if you're desiring this person on a deep, deep level, it's because I just heard it's because this person's meant for you as well. So if you feel like this person's meant for you, you're meant for them as well. Um, and I'm also being told it's how can I verbalize that? It's one of these things like you might be looking at this person and coming up with some assumptions and not realizing that they've gone through certain things as well, or I don't know. It's kind of hard to put into words, but it's one of these things that you're going to get a lot of clarity by communicating with your person, and some of these things that you're worrying about or fearing that are not balanced actually are. Okay. And then we've got the garden in the gate in the reverse position. And for some of you, what I'm picking up is you may be viewing your feminine as though they're out of reach, they're inaccessible. But the union windows here, the doorknob's on your side of the door, you get to be the one to open it. And so if you feel like your feminine's out of reach, it's like a limitation that you're putting on yourself. Your feminine's right there. the time is right, the alignment is here. And so when it's time to reach out, which I feel like is now, if you're watching this, there will be an access point for you to reach your feminine. So I feel like that's more of an illusion if you're looking at it that way. Um, okay, it also says this indicates a happy choice to open the door to a more spiritual pursuit. You may have been obsessed with worldly issues before, but your readiness to go deeper is now here. Many people believe they cannot live in a material world, make lots of money, and engage in spiritual priorities at the same time. But you now realize that is not true. In fact, you can bring the wonderful spiritual focus to any endeavor. And when you do, you'll find that beyond your garden, the universe is willing to fill your life with beauty and joy. Expect the unexpected, for joyous synchronicity abounds. And right when I saw synchronicity, I heard that you're getting hit with a lot of synchronicities right now, so pay attention to that. Um, is that the message? That's the message. Okay. Well, again, you have free will. You don't have to reach out. If you're here at this point in the reading and most of it or all of it resonated with you, I really feel like it's time to go for it. It's time to take this action. I mean, you've literally got the life of your dreams on the other side of this door. So it's up to you to open it. So, wishing you all the best on this journey. I know it's not easy. I know it's very confusing and complex and multi-layered and multifaceted, but your soul chose to embark on this journey for a reason. So just remember that even if you're still kind of figuring out what exactly you believe in and coming to terms with how all of this works and you're just kind of still confused about it, just know that ultimately your soul chose to have this experience for a reason. You're at the perfect place right now. And all you're being guided to do, I mean, you're being guided to do other stuff too. But in this situation, you're being guided to just communicate. And then and it's one of these things I'm seeing like a path. I'm actually being reminded of a game I used to play when I was younger. It's called Crash Bandicoot. But there's this level where it's like the character is lit up and then you can't really see much on the path. And then it's like the path is illuminated as you walk on it. So ultimately, you do have this dream timeline available to you, and it's going to be one of those maybe you're not sure of how to get from here to here. The first step right now for you is to open this door, and then more of the path will be illuminated. And then the more you walk on the path, more of it will be illuminated. So just remember that as well. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here. I hope this resonates. If so, you can let me know in the comments below. I would love to talk to you about it. Um, Feel free to hit that like button. It does help out the channel. So thank you, thank you. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free, and I will see you on the next message. Bye.